And we back.
Y'all already know what time it is, man. Attitude Era Podcast in the building. Another episode of a live recap of NXT. NXT. How y'all felt about it tonight, man?
First of all, I'm just gonna say this real quick. My man got one little viral interview with Psycho Sid. He can't show his face. It's all good. We're gonna let you live tonight. But shout out to our man Gamaj. Got Attitude Era Podcast going crazy. If you haven't seen, he got the crazy interview with Psycho Sid, Sid Vicious, Sid Justice, however you know him, taking over the wrestling world right now. So shout out to him. But we not here for that. I just wanted to say, my man, you know, he acting a little funny, but NXT.
There you go.
Good show. I mean, I'm glad we got to see Trick Williams.
Yeah.
Not texting on the phone with Ilya Dragunov, playing Words with Friends and Snake or whatever they was doing. Trick Williams is back in the title hunt, and that's how we started the show with Trick Williams in the ring, saying he's not stopping until he get his title back. And that's what I think he should have been doing since he lost it. So they started hot. And he got interrupted, but we get into it. But NXT opened with Trick Williams, and I was happy to see that.
I mean, listen, man, I'm still trying to figure out where they're going with the storyline. I mean, they are the professionals, so I hope the storyline is in good hands. I hope my brother Trick is in good hands at this current moment. I am not satisfied with this. I do not think the belt should have been stripped from Trick. I'm still standing on that, and I would like it to be returned to Mr. Williams as soon as possible. So Ethan Page, we have your number. We will be paging you. We will be beeping you. We need that return to us, signed, sealed, and delivered. We wouldn't have to, bring any Attitude Era tactics back and per se meet you on a bridge, throw you off of it with the belt like Rock and Stone Cold did back in '97.
Oh, we could pull up in the tank. We could pull up in the tank.
Pull up in the tank on some DX shit. We would go through any measures that we have to go through Ethan Page to return the belt back. At this point, NXT, Shawn Michaels, we met. You guys should reach out to me. I should be Trick's manager. I will get things back where they need to be. Ethan Page is not an issue that we are worrying about. It is nothing to take a flight to Orlando to that performance center and get the belt back on Trick's hands. The global outage is now over. You can fly again. So just let me know what I have to do.
I think we might have to let DNA go tonight. He on one tonight because wait. Shawn Michaels we met is wild.
What you mean?
You saying that it's wild. So DNA's on one tonight, folks. I don't know.
We did meet Shawn Michaels though.
I know, but I'm saying that's wild. That's wild.
Hey, shout out to the people on Instagram. We do have the Instagram Queen Shadina. Showing her support.
Shadina, what up? We did meet Shawn Michaels. I'm just saying we need that belt back now, man. We need that belt back in Trick's possession, man. We're not satisfied until we're looking at that belt and the crowd is screaming, "Whoop that Trick." Are you saying it's wild like a pause, or are you saying it's wild in another magnitude? What are we discussing?
It's wild, man. We said we don't want to have to show up. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? And it's the man's birthday the other day.
It was yesterday. You know what I mean? I'm not. Shout out to the GOAT. Goats make mistakes sometimes too. We need to go back on Trick. You know what I mean? I'm standing on that, man. But I definitely like that. Because at first I was wondering, like, where's this going? Like, how long are we gonna have to wait to see Trick back into contention for the belt? But I'm glad they didn't keep us waiting, and we kind of know that this is a redemption story now.
And it was cool seeing Cedric Alexander, to be honest, because I haven't seen Cedric Alexander active in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. When I hear his promo, I'd be like, I would rather see him play like what was my man's name who took the belt from Shawn after he got jumped in Syracuse? Dean Douglas. I would rather him play the intellectual because he talks like that. There's no real aggression in his voice. So
you would have loved this HP. Cedric Alexander, he's a Charlotte boy, and I saw his very last match on the Indies before he went to NXT and got that deal. And he wrestled in Black Panther gear from head to toe. And that was his gimmick as he went out from the Indies into NXT. So I've been following Cedric's career for a long time. And, you know, to see him, I remember when he got the point from Triple H. I felt like the whole city of Charlotte felt like we got the point from Triple H. So to see Cedric Alexander in the mix and Shanti Adonis getting in the mix again is cool too, because you know he was with Hit Row and we didn't see much from him. So yeah, I think you know NXT is doing good for some people we haven't seen in a while. But Trick Williams, yeah, he back on the hunt. So
Gamache, how you felt about how you feel about it, superstar? It's the
he ain't even
hottest shit.
talking. We gotta pay to see his face. We gotta pay. What J. Cole said, I get $1,000 a word. We can't afford it, come on.
I mean, look, he never should have lost the belt to begin with. So the fact that he's finally back on track to get what he never really should have lost, in my opinion, we finally getting somewhere.
Okay.
You talking that talk, Gamaj. I like that. You talking that talk. You understand me?
And it was nice. It was cool to see Cedric also, especially like with the match he had, which we'll talk about that later.
Yeah,
And
it was good.
It was something I wanted to ask y'all, and I'm gonna wait a little bit because I want to know if I'm tripping or not.
Nah, go ahead. We here.
So ever since Triple H basically took over, do you feel like when it comes to specifically the black wrestlers,
Here we go.
they get a better push on NXT than they do on the main roster?
So I think that's a Shawn Michaels thing. And I think Shawn Michaels doesn't see color. I think he sees talent. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because that's why Trick lost. Trick is very talented, but Trick can be where he's at without a title. So let's elevate someone else for a little bit, get Trick to get involved with other people so we can get stock in other people, and then we can bring Trick back. I think they can see that. Ego has a good thing about him. Kalani Jordan, you know what I'm saying? Lola Vice, not just even the blacks with the, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of them. Chase U, they out here putting in work. My man Duke Hudson almost beat Obafemi. They had a solid match. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think NXT. If I'm black and I'm just peeping things, I know they want to get to the main roster, but I'm looking at Carmelo Hayes. I'm looking at Montez Ford. I'm looking at Bobby Lashley. Just keep coming down, like you know what I'm saying. And how he just seemed like, nah, I'm cool, bro. I'm cool. I'll stay right here.
I think I don't think it's a color thing in NXT, and I could be wrong. Who knows? I think NXT is so good sometimes. The talent pops off the screen so much sometimes that we forget that it's still developmental. It's still where people are growing characters. They're growing their skill set. They're growing their mic work. They're still growing. And sometimes, you know, it's like it's a roster, right? If you got somebody walk on that's better than your starter, they probably will get that starting position. You got somebody who been here for 2-3 years and now they're past everybody else, they're gonna get that spot. But perfect example, the Rascals tonight bumped heads with Axel and Frazier. The Rascals haven't missed a beat. It's been like 3-4 years, and last week they showed you why they initially were brought into WWE. And I think if anybody, they might get them titles off Axel and Frazier.
Good night.
Okay.
So Gamaj, you still think you tripping?
So I say that to say this. Let's take the Rascals for example. If they were to be called up to the roster, maybe not right away, but like a year or two from now, do they get booked as good on the main roster?
They get booked the same way Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano.
Yeah, why? I was just
okay.
My man,
and
right
you,
here.
I say this forever. I saw Johnny wrestling in person. You don't get the name Johnny wrestling because you're not good at wrestling. But Tommaso Ciampa and NXT will probably be the best work this man ever done in his life and career as a singles. Then you bump him up, and he was like a henchman. He was a third man. Now he's in a tag. So, you know, I just think it's a matter of moving that talent and believing in that talent. Because if you don't come in hot from NXT, it's hard to get hot in the main roster scene.
You got to jump on a moving train. That's what you're doing because the roster is look where it's at right now. Braun Breaker came up there, and they actually snuck him and Ilya Dragunov in real smooth. You know what I
I
mean?
think they snuck Ilya in, but they kind of played double dutch with Brian for like a year or two because it was like, was he? Is he? He was in and out, kind of. You know what I'm saying? With Brian, it was a
He
little
had
different.
some fortunate things. Brock Lesnar being involved in that scandal with Vince, taking out the Rumble. Remember, they inserted Braun in that Rumble, and basically Braun did what Brock was supposed to do, essentially. And then, so a string of unfortunate events benefited Braun. Braun and Ilya got snuck in, and he can wrestle, so he just looks the part. You put him in there with Sheamus, Braun Breaker, Sami Zayn, the Canadian hobo.
But then he just becomes Pete Dunne again because, unfortunately, main roster, they like size.
They,
I will say what Big E said, but I don't want DNA to pause me. So,
what Big E say?
big, strong, athletic guys in competition with other big, strong, athletic guys.
All right, good. I like that.
So, I know how to clean it up sometimes. But
Yeah,
we saw your girl tonight. Speaking of Trick Williams being back in the title picture, the 6-woman North American ladder match was fire, and Lash Legend kind of went missing. But we saw Lash Legend back tonight in Jakara Jackson. I know HP, you was asking, where's Lash Legend?
where is she? And we finally got her to pop out.
And show niggas.
So, hey, absolutely. And WWE are going on. There's a lot of black wrestlers in the future and a lot of black wrestlers on the main roster that will get their turn when it's time. I think that's a weird statement to make. I agree with you, but here's where I think it's weird.
Show your face, Ronnie. Your pictures are off. Show your face.
Ronnie, I just feel like this, right? And I think Archie was talking about it and hit the nail on the head. You got to have a little size when you're talking about certain belts and stuff. And I think that's not like the old 80s, Sid Vicious and all that. But, there's very few guys. Seth Rollins.
Show your face, Ronnie.
Seth Rollins is small, you know what I'm saying, as far as in height. I don't want to get paused, you know what I'm saying? So, but I really can't, Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, Braun Breaker. You gotta, unless they bring mid-tier titles back to the forefront, take Logan Paul's title off them, then you can see a Javon Evans when he gets up there. But I think if when he gets up there, he'll need about 20 more pounds.
But see, really Javon was cooking tonight, and I mentioned Trick Williams. Something happened tonight, interesting enough, and I think the WWE might feel Trick Williams needs a little more in-ring work because after his match, he got attacked by Pete Dunne, who I just mentioned.
He did. Yeah. They was stomping him. No, where are the Tims when you need them? I need you. If you're gonna stomp somebody out,
Harris brothers, what up? Nah, Harris, I'm just asking some questions that need answers to, Harris. We need to see your face, Ronnie.
So SCB I think WWE might feel, or Shawn Michaels might feel, he needs a little more fine tuning because you put Trick Williams in the ring with somebody like a Pete Dunne, and it'll give him a different challenge. And Pete Dunne was he was NXT UK. He was the champ in Pete Dunne was the man in NXT. He moves up to the main roster. They turn him to Butch, and he's in the Brawling Brutes. So I think HP said it. I'd rather be the man on the JV team than on the bench on varsity. It's kind of, do you want to be the big fish in a small pond or the small fish in a big pond? And I think some people, unfortunately, their best works, moments, memories, and matches will be in NXT. I say that about Bayley and Sasha Banks.
I'm signing out, gentlemen.
So DNA gonna look for Shawn Michaels, and you got to run Trick his title back. So
yes, sir. Yeah, I'm going to get Trick his belt back. So I'll see y'all on Friday at SmackDown.
Yes, all right. Well, we got it from here, boss.
I already know, y'all. Let's get it.
So shout out to STB First Lady real quick, 781 on Instagram. She says, I think Braun would have still got where he was without the Royal Rumble, to be honest. Little bit of an agreement with you, but I think it helped. I think it
Yeah, it's
helps.
just
Yeah.
NXT tonight. It was a lot of good wrestling. I ain't gonna hold you. A lot of good wrestling, and I like to see it. I love to see good wrestling from the developmental, but again, it makes us forget that it's developmental.
Yeah.
Ronnie,
The other thing with Braun Breaker, with what um the person said,
yeah,
Braun has, honestly, he's got the image WWE's looking for. If they want to put someone as has the new face, Braun has that.
You got to look.
got
Yeah,
to look.
You know
like
what he is? He's Anthony Edwards.
Mm.
Like in the NBA, it's you got to start ushering new stars, and unfortunately, you have. I don't want to make a comparison, but I think the NBA was ready to hand it over to John Morant, but John Morant wasn't ready for that.
Fucking up.
So they
yeah,
Yeah.
moved on to the next guy. Brian Breaker is the next guy. And I don't
So
think anyone would disagree with that. Brian Breaker is the next guy.
or not. Once they get over to Netflix, they already put it out there. He gonna be the person they push. He's gonna be the face.
Because he has that attitude for Netflix. He will be it will be known as like the Brian Breaker kind of era because he gonna talk crazy, he gonna tear shit up, he gonna have banger matches, and he gonna
yeah.
do what's needed. But I think that's just in him because he's a Steiner, bro.
Yeah,
Kind of trying to spin the block here on Ronnie. His first comment, he's got a couple real quick. I'm trying to go through them all. But I don't think it has nothing to do with race. Hell, Randy Orton ain't doing nothing for SummerSlam. I kind of agree with that too. However, I feel like him and KO will be at SummerSlam because you got Cody Rhodes going against Solo. We already know what their whole deal with the bloodline. Who's Cody got backing him up? Do I think Roman will pop out? That's a whole nother story. I think Randy, and that also it might start setting up Randy versus Cody because after this match, what are we going to talk about, right? But then your next combos has nothing to do with race. I'm not saying that it does. I think that it's just I kind of I'm not gonna sit there and say I'm gonna just go with what I see, the eye test, right? I do see NXT is loaded with mixed talent of all races, creeds, colors, genders, and everything, and they are flourishing down there. When I say they, anyone, the most talented people are flourishing. I mean, it just feels like that, and it's almost like they're overbooked. So it's like, all right, let's Lash Legend disappear for a few weeks, then we gotta bring her back, and then we got, hey, y'all gotta slide over here. We got this championship, like it's very delicate because there's a lot of talent down there
There's a lot
really
of
doing
moving
it.
parts in NXT and not many
yeah,
moving parts on the main roster.
Yeah, main roster, and I really feel like again, I'm gonna use that word mid tier title. They took them away. Well, Intercontinental is thriving. Intercontinental has got a storyline. It's seen it on the main card. That U.S. title, no nobody care about no more until that night can do something with it.
You
It's
think
worth
people gonna care about it if and when LA Knight wins it?
if he wins it and he starts taking on people and you start to see people that were just kind of just floating around doing nothing all of a sudden trying to work up to get that title shot, yes, then he did something with it. But if it's still the same thing where a guy who loses against the world champion, now he's coming to fight LA Knight, it's just recycling all the top tier people. And all these guys below are just sitting here doing nothing. Week after, you gonna give me Baron Corbin and Apollo Cruz after you done had Apollo Cruz pop out of the Battle Royal in NXT and you don't even remember when he got eliminated. Like that's bad, So I think LA Knight can do that. He can elevate that belt. I just hate the fact that in January he was fighting for the world title, so you see those guys getting recycled. But if he's gonna stay in that U.S. title picture, I'm all for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we'll never know the truth.
No one's gonna sit out there and be like, "Yeah, I'm racist," but I do feel that on NXT it's more about talent and development and our main roster, but also main roster is also about who draws money. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with that too. If you really ain't drawn, so it might. I mean, Jay Uso, he's Samoan, right? He ain't black. However, he's a minority. He's drawing money, but they got him some bullshit storylines. But he's always on TV. He's always competing for something. He's always in the mix. So again, you draw money, you're gonna get pushed. So to your next comment, Ronnie, about Triple H and people saying good things about him, and that's what I would say with that. He's gonna look at who's drawing money because the main roster ain't for development. You know what I mean? It's for getting your shit off, and we gotta produce. I'm gonna go. Woo! I'm slacking on the Instagram. Lulu 516 back from last night. You know, we see you. Shout outs to you. Let's talk about Dolph Ziggler stealing Billy Gunn's whole style. We'll get back to that. We still got a whole lot of
Hey,
NXT to
that
talk
Briggs and Jensen match was fire. Somebody asked that. You could tap into the IG real quick, but yeah, NXT was real good tonight. And they needed a good show. NXT needed a good show this week. Raw needed a good show this week, and SmackDown definitely needs a good show this week because the number one trend during SmackDown for WWE was boring last week, and we can't have that. But NXT cooked tonight. I'm glad to see Lash Legend get a win. Oro Mensah rolled up and pinned Ethan Page, so now they have a match coming up.
And this is what I'm saying. Take it off a Trick. Move Trick aside. Now you got Cedric Alexander. Bring Cedric Alexander stock up some because we can always return Trick. Trick is the draw. He draws without the belt. He draws with the belt. Let's see if these other guys can produce a little bit. And
Hey,
if they need a
Ronnie,
little help,
but Bianca Belair also cried backstage after she got squashed by Becky Lynch. So
Becky Lynch,
Yeah,
it's
we
all
heard about
booking.
that.
I think everybody experiences are going to be different because I'm pretty sure it's some black people, white people, Hispanic people, Asian people, Mexican people that love Triple H, and it's the same people that hate Triple H for whatever the reason is. Your experience is your experience. I don't know Triple H. Never met him. DNA has. I don't know,
I don't
but
think you met Triple H.
he met the whole.
You
He
might have.
met.
You might have.
He
You
met
might have.
DX. He met DX. He was there. But I think it's all your experience and also how you react to what happens to you. We got a double up coming up featuring Booker T, and we talked about some of this stuff. But Aura, Penn, and Ethan was funny. I didn't think they would keep Aura in the story this long because Noam is hurt, but I mean, we know he's not winning the title though. So
What you thought about that Brooke Jensen's fight? I mean, you did just comment it was fire, but Gamash, what you thought about? Because that man's back was jacked up.
I'm not going front. I thought that was gonna be a sleeper for me. Like I could have skipped that match. That match was fire. I liked it.
Match was fire. That match was fire. I ain't gonna hold you. Couple comments from the Instagram trying to get back. Oh, man, Lulu really does not like Dolph Ziggler, right? She's how can you make Dolph Ziggler the champion? He's corny. Okay, cool. We know Nick Nemeth. uh, would you say the same for Roxanne because she's had the Royal Rumble appearance too and got the Women's NXT title? Do you see a main roster spot for her within the next year or so? You see how Lyra got her with her shit or her spot. I do
that
see her coming up in a year.
Lyra moving up was interesting because I
Yeah.
thought Roxanne would have moved up already by now because she has been on main roster shows. But then WWE got some big women signings coming to the company. So I don't know how much Roxanne's going to be involved in that because Roxanne did drop that title and she got it back. So they got a lot of stock in Roxanne in NXT. And again, when they move from NXT to main roster, that stock either plummets or it doubles. So
yeah,
I don't know. It all depends on. I think at right now, Roxanne will have a decent shot being in the main title picture.
So about that, people be calling. I'm gonna just call it what it is. All the WWE, not the big gold, right? WWE champions, all lost their title to the exact same person. Can you tell me who that person was? That's a hell of a trivia for the comments.
What are you talking about?
So he said Bianca got squashed because of Vince McMahon was still in charge, which is true. He still had the final say. And another thing about Bianca getting squashed is remember how I give you the whole rundown of the Black World Champions? You have the World Champions and the WWE Champions, right? And there's only 4 WWE Champions. Shit, I shouldn't have said nothing, right? But of those 4, they all lost to the exact same dude, lost that world title to him. And Devon just got it. Yeah. Brock Lesnar got squashed Kofi, took it off Big E, took it off Bobby Lashley, and he took it off The Rock. So it's like, you're right. Vince was still in charge. I can't really say that about, You know what I'm saying? Triple H, because Vince was known. He what? Oh, man, that should make my blood pressure go, bro. That should make my blood pressure like, oh my god. I
Vinny,
don't
I
even
don't
know.
know. Vinny, I don't know.
Uh,
The NXT women's roster is, you have a few people there who could be champ. Because a lot of the women do good in ring work. A lot of them are good on the mic. A lot of them look good and look the part. I feel a few of them can.
Wrigley
I feel a few of them can skip the NXT women's title picture and go straight to main roster.
right now.
Yeah.
I think.
I, f- I
What
feel
do you
like
think?
I feel like at least why they didn't put Roxanne in the main roster yet.
Mhm.
You see, what was the shit? Lola Vice.
I
I
love
feel
Lola.
like she could be the next breakout for them in NXT, but she clearly has to work on like promos. Like that's been visibly shown now. I feel like once she's in a good balance with that, that's probably when they're gonna feel like we can make her that face of that breakout for NXT, and then we could put Roxanne on the roster.
But what about Kalani Jordan? What about Sol Ruka? What about Lash Legend? What about Machine, who keeps going up and down, up and down, up and
I'm
down?
I'm
I
at the
don't.
point. I'm not the point with Mission where I practically gave up, so I don't even consider her anymore right now. I'll see what they do with. I'll see what they do with on SmackDown, but it's like you doing one thing in one show where I still don't know if you're heel or not in
Devon,
NXT.
it's probably gonna be Stephanie. They just brung her, and it's probably gonna be Stephanie. Because that's a big signing for WWE. They caused wave. People really legitimately got heat and hate towards this woman for the decision she made. And she's been wrestling on the live shows, and she just did the tour and then with Mexico. So she's in the ring already. But Roxanne, she's had that title longer than I thought she would.
I thought Sol was going to potentially take it off Kalani Jordan in their rematch from the North American Women's Title match. I was nervous. I was nervous. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, I
Kalani
don't see
held it down.
I don't see Kelani dropping that till maybe end of the year
Mm.
because she's the inaugural champion. If she was to lose it that quick, I don't know if that would have been a good look. And I like Soul Ruka, but that would have been quick for her to drop it.
Mm.
Bro, Soul Ruka in the main roster doing the Soul Snatch, that would make TV headlines, bro, just because of how smooth it is and how fluid she is in the ring. But again, development. That it's hard to perform in a few hundred people. Cool, but when that few hundred turns to thousands and them lights get real bright, that can change a performer. I forget the guy's name. He was on a run in WWE, and they was just pushing him up, and he was starting to have anxiety attacks in gorilla position. So they pulled him from the roster. It's like it's a difference, and I think a lot of times that's a consideration too. Like, can you perform in front of thousands and millions like The Rock said, versus just being in Orlando at Full Sail?
It's a big difference. It's a big difference. And again, it's almost like coming from another company because we've seen a lot of people be great in NXT. Sometimes it just doesn't translate to the main roster, and every city is different. Some cities will boo the brakes off you. I remember, I can't. Well, I guess I can say it because they haven't seen it yet. Whatever. But there was a double up. We was talking about a certain individual beating somebody in Madison Square Garden. They were getting cheered. January comes, they drop the title to him in San Antonio, in that person's hometown. There ain't nobody cheering you in our hometown, in this man's hometown. So city to city, it makes a difference. And in NXT, you're in the same city every week.
Same
So
fans, same
same
people.
fans.
So I think it allows you a certain level of comfort and allows you a certain level to relax. These my people. I know what I'm going to get here. But when I go to Philly and Philly don't like me, when we was just in Austin and Austin loved me, and it changes from market to market, it's different. So might have to switch her style for the main roster and slow it down.
I think that's a possibility because they wrestle a lot more, and you gotta travel from city to city. That might.
I think a lot of wrestlers need to switch their styles just to preserve themselves. We talked about the young OG. That cutter from the top rope is crazy, but it reminds me of Darby Allin's coffin drop. And it's just kind of just throwing your body.
Gamash, let me ask you a question. If you could take 3 superstars and bring them up to the main roster, who would they be? And then second part of that question is, what would you change about them?
3 from NXT.
3 from NXT.
It would be Trick, Roxanne, and Oba.
Okay. Okay. I ain't got
That
shit
would
to
be
say
my
about
3.
that.
If I had to change anything,
Hey, ask that question again. I had something going on over here.
If you could bring up 3 people from the main for the NXT to the main roster, who would they be? And what and if anything would you change about them? SCB First Lady on Instagram, OMG, I had the same question, no cap. It was gonna be male and female. So I'll even switch it up. Yeah, if you can get 3 males, 3 females, or
3
which one?
males, 3 females. Right now, off the top of my head, I would bring up Chase U as a whole because I like the work that they're doing, and I think as a faction, they could be almost Alpha Academy-ish. I will bring up Jada Parker, but the only thing about Jada Parker is you got Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill doing the Black Girl Magic thing right now. And it'll just be it'll look like you're making everything the same thing, right? With that. And the third one, I think Oba is a good choice, but I don't think they would do Oba Femi right.
Yeah, I'm concerned about Oba.
They haven't gotten a big man right in a long time in the WWE.
I think the last big man they had right, small period of time, was Braun Strowman when he first kind of got there. I'll stick by that answer for a little bit.
You know what I always think about, bro? And it's just like
Wyatt family Braun.
It grinds my gears.
What really scuffs your Tims?
Who was the Funkasaurus?
Oh my god, I can see his face.
Damn it.
He had that top hat joint, and oh my gosh, he was light skinned black. Oh my gosh,
bro. Because in NXT, this man was a monster.
Yeah, completely different.
He was an absolute unhinged, uncaged animal.
Johnny Blaze came in the cut. Got that. Thank you.
But when they brought him to the main roster, the only person that made it out of that, Brodus Clay. The only person that made it out of that was Naomi, kinda.
I see you, First Lady, with the Brodus Clay tendency.
Somebody call my mama.
Yeah, that joint got kind of crazy.
That was so cringe.
They haven't got a big man right in a long time. And Braun Strowman started good, but then he was winning tag team titles with Nicholas.
I'm gonna tell you when they messed up with Braun.
They crushed him, bro.
I'm gonna tell you when they messed up Braun. Braun was good until they let Roman beat him.
And now every week he's kind of speed walking behind the Judgment Day.
It's because his knees is fucked up.
Cotton Hill.
I'm trying to think, man. I mean, if you, I almost want to call Oba
and it's
Femi.
Wrestling, bro. It's not hard to get the big man over.
It is, and it isn't. If you have the look, that helps. Oba Femi has a look. However, Oba Femi is, I think, around 6'6". And if someone knows his real height, put it in there. But
we just talked about Sid. Sid was what, 6'9", 330?
6'9", 320. Yeah, 330, 320 in that range.
The big man just got to be the big man. Think about the big like it
I'm
just
with you.
has
I'm with you.
it's
The
just
big
weird.
man got to be the big man. You've said that before, and it's so true. Stop making these motherfuckers up here jiggly wiggly.
It's
You got
only
roll the dice for
it's
the
like
jiggly wiggly.
they got
Fuck.
Bronson Reed being dominant right now, and he's always been that character. They
Yeah.
even had Otis with a little mean streak once upon a time, but that's
And then he's doing the fucking worm.
what I'm saying. They don't get the big men right
Fuck
for
out of
some
here,
reason,
man.
and I don't know why. So Obafemi is safe in NXT right now, but
I
he's
think
the only.
Obafemi.
Trick Williams is considered a big man too.
So First Lady SCB First Lady talking about he's 6'6", and then Duke Hudson was 6'5", and they had a great match from Chase U. Trick got that look, which I agree. I
Well,
think Trick
DNA ain't here. I can say it. Big meaty men slapping meat.
pause the what? Hey, somebody tag DNA with that shit. Yeah.
See how happy that makes me just to say that? I don't know why. But they've ruined a lot of big men.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. It's
As
only a few that
far
really made it.
as far as the main roster, I don't know if there's gonna be one that would reach a similar level to where Lesnar is.
And you know what's crazy?
You had
Brock
Bobby
Lesnar is
Lashley.
only 6'4".
Yeah, First Lady A, yo, for real. Lulu said he swagged out with the Jordans talking about who the fuck we was just talking about? I just had him on Trick.
Trick.
Yeah.
Oh, he had on the playoff 12s. I know because I got the same shit.
Yeah.
Playoff. He killed it. He killed it. But yeah, Brock Lesnar's not a big man height wise. He's like 6'4".
He's like 6'4". But it's different for him. He went to the UFC and dominated for a split. Like you get once you do something like that,
His
oh man.
physique is just crazy.
And
And that's the thing. We talk about passing the eye test. That's why Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly was crazy in NXT. Undisputed ever ran NXT. Couldn't
Right.
sniff the main roster.
I think
like one of the few stars who just made it straight to the main roster, and even he transitioned his moveset a bit, was AJ Styles. Because everything he did, even now, he's not doing half of the moveset he did when he was in New Japan or TNA. He did a lot more with it.
No. Not Sami Zayn, same thing. Because if you
no,
know
keep
his,
in mind, they have a block list of things you cannot do.
Yeah.
Because remember, they did the vertebraker, and that was like they
big deal.
broke AFAB and said that move was illegal.
Yeah.
So
I think what's
recently
going to
allowed the
happen,
brain
and
bust for that.
I think this is going to happen. I don't want to see it happen, but the WWE before they go to Netflix, they're going to have roster cuts. It's going to happen. It's too many people you're not using or utilizing, like you just mentioned. And we talk about NXT. Who have we seen on NXT in the past few months? Natalya, Becky Lynch was down there. We see Apollo Crews. We see Baron Corbin. We now see Cedric Alexander, Shanti Adonis. We've seen all these main stars, Mi Chen, the OC. They wrestle there now. We see these. Dominic Mysterio was North American champion before he got into a storyline. It's a lot of talent on these rosters to where the cross and you're crossing over with TNA.
and you're crossing over.
Oh, I just thought about another woman who I would like to see in the main roster. If she gets healed up and all that, Nikita Lyons.
Yeah.
Nikita Lyons has been hurt so long, I don't remember what her in-ring work is like.
So SCB First Lady, I'll just say it like that. First Lady
Yeah,
said
because she
y'all
got
had
her tongue all twisted and tied.
If you had to pick 3 people that y'all want to see work with NXT, who would it be? And that's from the main roster. My answer is 0. Because I'm literally looking at NXT like the G League. So I love to see the call up, but it ain't good when I see people go back down.
I would like to see because it would
my
be for me, I think it'd be cool to see like the real NXT OGs go back. I wouldn't mind seeing Seth Rollins say, "Hey, I was the man in NXT. I hear y'all got some talent down here. Come into my world, and then we get the blonde streak Seth Rollins back, and it'll also help him because it's not as heavy as a work schedule. He could kick it in NXT, and they can learn because Seth Rollins has a wrestling school. He still teaches that. He can teach them, and I think can get some good matches down to NXT with some of the talent. So a set doing that'll be cool.
But here's the problem: the money. And I say that to say this.
I think the money's the money no matter where you go.
No. This is where they had the problem. That's why next, like before they had the set thing in Orlando, it was so because they travel and do all the house shows. So now when you don't have Seth Rollins booked, it's like okay, cool. He has probably some off time, But if you send him down to NXT, it's a very small crowd. You're only getting minimum money down there. That's why another reason I don't think they will ever send back.
Yeah, but I think they got enough talent to supplement if Seth stepped away to do that.
Nah,
I'm just answering the question. That's all.
No, I hear you. I just don't think they do like to do that because you have 17,000 people.
Bro, they just had John Cena and The Undertaker at NXT. And
yeah,
Cody Rhodes.
You got to look at that. They're on legend contracts, part-time contracts. Seth Rollins is $10 million.
I don't think it would hurt. I don't think it would hurt at all.
What's
the difference between Seth Rollins going to NXT and Seth Rollins being hurt? It's none.
No. When Seth Rollins is hurt, so how their contracts said when you're hurt, you're hurt. That's why they be having these. You notice how fast some of these motherfuckers be coming back. And
I don't know. I'm just answering the question. I don't know nothing about the contract.
I get you, but if you notice it, like Seth Rollins came back fast as hell. Why?
But they needed him.
So you just answered it. So they need him. Why they need him? Didn't you just say they could stop? No, hell no. Bring your ass back, bro. Bring your ass back.
They could.
I wanna mention these comments. Devon with Nikita saying she's too injury prone, and Vinny saying Nikita needs more work. So with that, not saying I don't disagree, she is injury prone, which goes back to what I would change about her, which would be her not being injury prone. Because this is how I see her, and I'm not trying to say by talent or exactly like this. She's like the Ken Griffey of the women's division in NXT. And I say that because the potential is there, but the injury is holding her back.
Yeah, but that's a big issue when you're injury prone.
It is. And I'm hoping that's something that's not a stable.
She's like Tegan Knox. When Tegan Knox was in that tournament and she stood out, she hurt her knee. When Tegan Knox came back, they was behind Tegan Knox, she hurt her knee. That's why she got the name the Shiniest Wizard, because the knee brace she did with the Shining Wizard. Some of those injuries you can't shake. We talked about that with Psycho said.
Yeah.
For the next episode of Double Up. He said it himself in your interview, Gamage, that got you going viral. That's why you can't show your face. He said that those injuries followed him throughout his career, so he could never make a return to the ring.
Never.
Yeah.
So yeah,
because of those injuries. So some people get injured. Some of those injuries. Some people go their whole wrestling careers and never have an injury.
First lady talking about NBA terms: D Rose or Kawhi Leonard.
D Rose is a fab.
Kawhi got a couple rings though.
Yeah, but the Clippers are hurting, and the WWE doesn't want to turn to the Clippers. See, he gave Toronto a ring. Clippers say, "Ooh, he can do that here. Big money, billboards everywhere, and the dude barely played."
Matter of fact, now that I'm thinking about it, is Cora Jade still injured?
Shit, I gotta double check, bro. Let me see if I got Instagram up, but I see if you can pull it up and see. He probably is, or they might have, because I remember Triple H saying something about people getting more family time and stuff like that. So to go back to the Seth Rollins thing,
I never was a Cora Jade fan, to be honest. I never got the hype. She reminded me a lot of Paige, and that.
Oh, there we go. We got an answer right here. Boom. I believe. So we don't have an answer, but we have a thesis.
If she wasn't hurt, she would be there because they put the house on Cora Jade.
I'm about to check right now.
I know my girl Shotzi still hurt. That's another one who I thought was going to do crazy in the main roster. Shotzi Blackheart had it.
Yeah, she's still injured. Damn.
Do you feel like, I know women don't have any mid-tier titles, but maybe we should switch things up a little bit. Like, don't copy the men, right? Don't just bring up a U.S. title and an Intercontinental. Like, okay, that's corny. I mean, it's not corny, but why don't we do a TV title where this chick is gonna defend it every week on this TV show, or go back and forth between brands or something? I don't know. Just something to be different.
That's something I'll say I like that AEW did with the woman. They didn't just do it like everything was like women's international, like women's TV or something like that. They had their own like what was a TBS championship. That's only for the women. The men, it's not for the men.
I think they saw what Darby Allin was doing and trying to make her like their Darby Allin, being a skater and young and all this. And with Cora Jade, Gigi Dolan is still hurt, and I'm hurt that she's hurt.
I'm with you there, Archie.
I liked what Toxic Attraction had going on, to be honest, and I still don't know what happened with Mandy Rose.
Oh, you ain't heard about why they let her go?
I
Yeah,
know, but I don't know if that's necessarily the truth.
Well, do tell.
Especially going into Netflix and all the stuff they've been doing lately, she was just maybe ahead of the curve if that's what she was doing.
Yeah, Lulu, is the NBA rigged like the NFL? I think it is. Yes.
Yeah, I think with Mandy was unfortunate because she definitely had the look of who they could have pushed, and she was improving a lot when she went back to NXT.
Mm-hmm. She was one of the rare cases where NXT helped her.
Yeah.
I don't think the WWE ever did have a TV title, but I need something like NXT, and I've had this conversation with you, Archie, about I love that Heritage Cup. Maybe some people aren't. It's like Speed, and I'm not a fan of Speed. But if you're gonna do it with multiple rounds, some rounds there is no winner. But it's
they need like an NXT hookah that the women wrestle with and smoke. Well, I don't know. Women love hookah.
But even if you made a different type of battle, like a submissions belt, because you got a lot of women down there. You want to wrestle? Like, yo, I'm a submission specialist. I don't do these regular matches.
I thought what Shayna and Lola did was excellent.
The
but
underground match.
You can't do that every week because then it loses its mystique and it loses its kind of value. But what they did was they took legit fighters and let them fight, which I thought was dope. Speed doesn't really make sense to me. I know why it's there because they want to capture the social media audience, but
like, so how would
if that's the case, bring back 205 Live. 205 Live was lit.
Yeah. How would y'all feel if NXT did like a NXT Extreme Championship? Like that could act like a hardcore title for the woman.
If it's for the women, I'm with it because the reason I say that I need them to be different. I'm sick. Like, okay,
I wouldn't call it hardcore. I call it like heartbreak or something but the matches have to be what Mi Chen and Jada Parker just gave us.
Yeah,
it got to be something worth watching because after a while, it just becomes people hitting people with trash cans.
Here's a perfect example of why I think the women's belt shouldn't copy, right? You have a women's world heavyweight title. You have a men's world heavyweight title. You have a women's WWE championship, but in the men's side, it's undisputed. Why is it still undisputed and you have a world champion over there?
Because it brought two titles together. But here's the other interesting thing.
Titles are gone.
They brought a secondary title to the developmental company before they did to the main roster. The North American Women's is a secondary title.
It is, and it works well.
And that's probably why they did it first at the developmental to see how that would work before they do that idea for the main roster.
They know how it's going to work at this point. They've been watching these women cook for years. They've been watching since. Remember when Sasha Banks and Flair had a Hell in a Cell? You put women in hell in a cell, bro. Like they know their rosters deep. They just be bullshitting. I feel like oh my god, they be killing me with this shit. But give them women some titles. Just make it different.
Think we're ever gonna see Sasha Banks back in WWE? We talking about NXT. She's one of the 4 horsewomen because what she doing in AEW right now ain't it?
Yes, and that's exactly why. Because nostalgia rules. Even if it's just for a pop, even if it's just to get other women over, and but she can't wait too long. It's a small window.
Yeah, for her because she's still visible.
Yep.
You got to
So
go away, then pop up, or yeah, because she's still visible. Because I really thought Naomi was gonna get treated different when she came back, because she went to TNA and rebranded herself, won a title, and they came back, and
not
now
over yet. She's been
she
talking that ish to Bailey. So, but then they kind of just died for the Nia Jax thing. Because remember, she was like, "Yeah, we'll see," and it's like, you got my back. Yeah, I got you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like how Randy Orton's doing to Cody.
and then we
But then,
talk about NXT. A lot of the women that are in that we see a lot on the main roster were pretty good in NXT. Sonya, Shayna, Zoe. Zoe might be the latest, well, other than Lyra, to come up, because Zoe came in and she was with Trish. Was it Trish? Yeah, Trish Stratus. And she was in an angle with Trish and Becky and all that stuff. So, it's just, I don't know. I don't get the push or lack of push for certain people when they establish themselves so well in NXT, because NXT has a lot of good talent right now.
yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
they do.
I agree. Um, what do y'all think about? Because there was some other stuff on the card, but we started
There's a
recording.
lot. There's a lot on the card. The
Yeah,
tag,
and I was.
the Rascals, they got it in.
I,
Trick
I,
got
def-
it in.
I definitely want to talk about that with the TNA thing, right? Are we gonna see, because the Rascals are to TNA?
Mm-hmm.
Are we gonna see the Rascals go get Axum and
Frazier,
damn, Nathan
Nathan
Frazier?
Frazier.
Yeah, yeah,
Probably
Nathan
so.
Frazier.
Probably so.
That, okay, because it's like, what are we doing if y'all are on TNA, but then you're coming over? I get the 6-man, but if we break it and one of them has to team with Wes Lee, or maybe not. Maybe the Rascals, MFF, whatever their initials are. But like, I don't know. Do you see a straight TNA team beating Axum and Frazier?
I don't know, because I thought Jordan Grace was going to beat
Well,
Roxanne
here's
Perez.
here's my thing with that. Because the Hardy Boys, specifically Matt, he referenced wanting to work with the crossover, and he wants to win the TNA tag titles. Like they want a challenge for it.
Okay, I would
Can
like
I
to see
say
that.
this? And I hope I'm not the only. Well, I don't know. I don't care about the Hardy Boys anymore.
I reached the point. I'm
I
not gonna
don't
lie with
care
both of them.
because Matt.
I'm scared they're gonna break their backs right now. That's what my concern is.
I think Matt's career suffered partially because of Jeff. Because Jeff has his issues, and we all have issues. I don't know exactly what the issues are, but whatever he has going on personally affects him professionally, and it affects his brother. His brother had to reinvent himself several times over because of that, and they keep getting chances because wrestling fans and companies are so forgiving. But fam, the Hardy Boys ain't it.
Well,
That's just me being a frustrated fan. I've met the Hardy Boys. I've seen them a few, years ago. They Carolina boys. I'm a Carolina boy, but it's just, it's I don't know. It's just a weird thing with the Hardy Boys, and we will see them at some point probably pop up in NXT because of the crossover. I would love to see Nick Nemeth, aka Dolph Ziggler, pop up with the title he just won and say, "Hey, y'all didn't feel I was good enough to do this here. I did it there, and I want your best."
so again, this is my dream, and I put this out about that stat padding for Ric Flair. My dream, it kind of just missed the opportunity a little bit, but would be Joe Hendry going against John Cena if Joe Henry would have won that TNA title. It's Mister. You say his
I don't
name
think
and
he needs a
he
title to win,
appears.
but unless you just want to do it for the stats, then yeah.
No, I do want to do it because John Cena's 16 like they never acknowledged Dusty Rhodes as a world champion.
I don't think they would acknowledge John Cena if 17 was TNA.
They would. They would. They have a deal with TNA.
I'm just saying wrestling fans won't want to acknowledge that.
Yeah, they won't do it
Shit.
because
Shit
WWE
in the
doesn't
chat. In the
own
chat.
TNA.
If they go to WrestleMania
If John
and
Cena wins any titles outside of WWE, people won't look at it as it matters.
Yeah,
He's their guy.
hey,
We
Y'all
ain't
in the
talking
chat.
about Ric Flair in the 70s and the 80s. We ain't talking about this Jerry. We talking about John
No,
Cena, the white.
no. That's not fair because the announcers have told us, and Ric Flair told us he was a
I'm talking
17.
about fans' perception. I ain't talking
No,
about
no, but
announcers.
I am talking about this because guess what? They told us he was 16, and we ran with it. And no one, you haven't heard anyone dispute it until I started saying Ric Flair's a fucking stat patter.
They also say Bruno Sammartino is the GOAT, and no.
It could be argued, but I'm not arguing it. But I just think it's bullshit. No fans was saying in 2024, Ric Flair is a 16-time champion. Okay, name his championship wins. They'd be like,
It all depends on where you stand with that person, really. But you want to ask the chat.
I did. They boosted some answers. I'm not really happy with these answers, but
But
they
John,
get.
but think about how goofy some of the WWE stars looked when they was just ECW champion. It just didn't look. It just didn't look. Looked weird, and nobody
On that
mentions
note,
those ECW title reigns.
on that note, I get you because Bobby Lashley. Yeah.
Bobby
Do you think?
Lashley, Mark
Yeah.
Henry. It was some big, and people don't mention them titles because those titles and reigns was just.
Yeah, you didn't do it in ECW. You did it in WWE CW.
WWE. It's just.
Even Matt Hardy got the ECW belt, and that's the only heavyweight title, solo title he won on WWE.
Yeah. Do you think
That's all I'm
Zoe?
saying.
Do you think Zoe? And this first lady, you have the ice in my mouth. Do you think Zoe Shayna pairing will boost Sonya up or no? Nope. I'm not gonna call them that group name that I seen that meme, but nope. Because didn't Sonya just get yelled at by who did you just wrestle? On
Was it
yesterday.
Lyra?
Huh?
Lyra.
Yeah, okay. So she wrestled Lyra Valkyrie, right? And
She's like, let go. She almost broke her neck.
Yes.
Damn.
She would have broke
On
her
live
neck.
TV.
Lyra had landed that move, and Sonya didn't let go. She would have broke her neck. She's yelling at her. She has her in some kind of look almost like a Styles Clash setup type deal,
It
but
was supposed to be for that power bomb.
Sonya was to the
pick her
side
up and
had a
boom,
leg hook, and she's like, let go. And
she had to yell that shit at her on a live event.
And Sonya's the vet. Sonya's been out for a while. I don't know why Sonya hasn't even been in the ring. That's the thing. She's been around, but she hasn't been active. But when she was working with Mandy Rose, they were doing good work.
No, Sonya was injured.
Yo, I ain't seeing none of these comments, yo.
Oh, Vinny, you wild.
None of these.
Yeah.
Bro, I ain't saying none of that shit. Jericho went to AEW and won the title over there. Oh, thank you, Lulu. Big Show was goofy. Oh, shit.
And people, and you know what they was cheering at Jericho? Retire.
Not at first. Not when he first did it.
But
now,
titles outside of WWE don't mean. We talk about this all the time. I'm gonna mention New Japan at some point. Whatever you do outside of WWE does not matter.
That's not true. That's not true. And I'm gonna say it like this: it's all about who you know.
Asuka was the biggest Japanese woman when she came there. Shinsuke Nakamura was the biggest Japanese draw when he came there.
Yes.
Yes. The pirate.
Here's my
point.
My girl,
here's my pirate. Point. The pirate.
That's not true. That's not true because we're kind of now we're stat padding a little bit and forgetting. Those people you named were all correct. However, AJ came over and what were they saying? AJ's been a world champion and blah 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 blah, and they mentioned it right on air. So it depends on who you are.
I said that.
But that's my problem with this. She said
we talking specifically about John Cena though.
Yes, and that's why I want him to do it. Because one, you obviously are trying to elevate TNA because you did a deal with them.
That's still not their company. They don't own them.
It's not their company.
Fuck it. 17-time world champion, bro. Because they don't want to put the WWE title on him, seems like. Because we got young talent that we still John, you got the ball. John, hang it up, bro. I mean, don't hang it up yet. We do want to see this tour.
I'm trying to put this in a movie format that you can understand because you the Hall Priest of Universe. If you don't know, HP does the Marvel recaps and stuff. I'm trying to put it in a movie. I can't think right now, but I'm sure there was a movie company that redid a movie different than the original and nobody liked it.
Damn, y'all killing me. They ain't really helping me in the chat.
Yeah,
First
that's
lady.
why you ain't reading nothing.
I do want to say Edge went to AEW and won, and no one really spoke about it. That was from First Lady. Lulu said, I think
You know who
Jericho
else
was
went
the
to
best wrestler.
AEW? CM Punk, and they only talked about his mic work, and they don't mention it.
They'll never mention AEW though. They'll never mention AEW because that's their direct competition.
Even with Cody, they said you went some. They mentioned New Japan. They mentioned the other there's another company, but they referred to AEW as you started another company. Like
Yeah.
it's
Like the main three companies they've mentioned is
Damn.
New Japan, TNA, and what was that other one? I can't remember
Lulu
that
said
other.
AJ Styles got buried too. So y'all right, I'm wrong. However, in my heart of
I don't think
hearts,
you're
I want to.
wrong.
Oh
I think
yeah,
it's
and
just I think we talking about
NWA.
since we're
That's the
talking
main
about
three.
John Cena specifically. If Cena won anything anywhere else,
It just doesn't do it.
It
All right.
doesn't.
I want to see him.
it'll be like the bubble NBA
But I don't
title.
want to see him go to TNA and do it at like Slammiversary. I want to see it at WrestleMania. They come over here and it's a title. No, it doesn't work. It still
Bro,
don't work.
John Cena holding the TNA title at WrestleMania would look ridiculous.
I'm not gonna hold you. I'm laughing if that happens.
You know who else is laughing? The rest of the fucking world,
Yup.
except for HP. He gonna be at his house with his do-rag on, knocked over his bowl of sunflower seed shells, because he's the only person in the world excited that John Christopher Cena, if that's his name, won the TNA title in Las Vegas at WrestleMania.
I got. Oh, I can.
You
Hold on.
got
I ain't trying to
you
promote
got a
no
better chance
brand.
of Cena winning like the New Japan belt and people acknowledging that more. And even that, people wouldn't even agree with that.
It's just the thing. And I think the time you were talking about, you had to make these men seem larger than life to draw. You don't have to do that anymore. So, yeah, Devon, I think you're trying to get a sponsorship or something.
They say especially because Cena was the face of WWE, so it will mean a lot more for Cena to win a WWE or the world title in the WWE. I'm with y'all. I just want to see him Ric Flair it.
Well, he's already passed Ric Flair in terms of in WWE, if we really break it down. But when you add the outside,
But most of Ric Flair's championships are from outside.
You know what it's like? Recently, they just integrated the Negro League baseball stats into the Major League Baseball stats. Recently, right? But prior to that, it was two separate things. Okay. John Cena is part of the separate thing. Ric Flair was part of the integration. For some reason, they integrated all the wins. But like you said, Jerry Lawler, 100-time over champ in Memphis, he won a title every weekend. So,
but here's my thing: Ric Flair beef with who's one of his Ric Flairs, like Harley Race, but also Dusty Rhodes. All right, Dusty Rhodes came in, they put him in polka dots and never referred to that motherfucker as champ. Like it never happened.
And now I got
Flair come over, and guess what?
I got Homelander every week.
Homelander just a shit.
Cody Rhodes, man. That's who need to go to NXT.
Why did Cody win the title and not Goldust? Goldust was a better gimmick and star than Cody. Lulu, to answer that question, was because it was two different times. Cody Rhodes in 1996 would never win a motherfucking thing. 1996, Goldust comes as a character who performs gay rituals in the ring.
I never liked the Goldust gimmick, even as a kid.
Time out. I hated it, but I'm gonna be honest. That whole gay thing in 1996,
I loved it. I guess I was a little freaky boy.
Nah,
I didn't like. I hated it. However, it was so different. It was very risky. It was very different, and it got him over. I'll never forget when he did that shit to Razor Ramon, because the Hollywood Backlot Brawl that takes place at WrestleMania 12 was supposed to be a rematch of the Royal Rumble Razor, but Razor.
You know what was cold when they tried to make him the Undertaker and all white? He's like, "This is bullshit."
Bro,
live on TV.
But
Goldust is a very interesting watch throughout his career because he had some high highs, but he also has some low lows. It's one of
Also, though,
those.
And it doesn't help that he also was willing to do like surgery to have real titties just for the gimmick.
Oh, all right. Come on.
Look it up. I
I
promise
noticed
you.
the Attitude Era podcast, but
no,
God,
he's telling the truth. But the thing about it is, um,
BBL Dustin.
I mean, maybe, but it was a time when he was creeping people out. That gimmick, he took that gimmick, then they put him with Mankind. It was
Ahmed
still
Johnson
working.
was pissed. Devon said, "Remember when Goldust gave Ahmed Johnson mouth to mouth, and Ahmed woke up and was pissed." Hey, bro, Attitude Era was wild. They
Yeah.
got away with some stuff.
But
That's why I'm interested to see this new Netflix era, and all the shows are going to Netflix. I don't even know. Y'all
no,
think?
no, no,
Y'all
no,
think
no, no, no.
all but
All of them
SmackDown?
aren't, but all the it's like live, no. But after they're done being live, because Netflix supposedly gets you know what I mean? So I guess SmackDown's coming to Netflix, but not live
I think
because they just.
SmackDown's the only one not moving right away.
I thought
I
it
could
was
be
SmackDown.
wrong, but the question is, if NXT goes to Netflix, do you think they turn it up a little bit? Or do they
Yes.
still keep it as the developmental, and that's what's going to make it
Oh
still
no, it's
better?
still gonna be the
it's
developmental
still developmental.
because Triple H's whole thing with them is like they go to colleges now. They go to these athletes and speak to them like this is college, and then the pro level is so NXT is like collegiate, um, and it's worked. Trick Williams is a former athlete. So Ruka, Kalani, you went and got Lola Vice from MMA. Like it's working. So they'll always keep it as developmental, but it might take a whole new following, which is what what I'm saying, to where it blows the numbers game. Like, oh shit,
We'll
that's what
see. But
ECW did, and
hey,
ECW didn't have a Netflix.
what's the comments looking like? Let's do some rapid fire before we get up out of here.
Um, no, nothing new.
Nothing new over there.
Yeah, it was the Goldust comment, but also my last point to that was Goldust won the Intercontinental title in a time when titles meant mid-tier was used just for that, and you saw how it elevated those guys. Goldust got world title opportunities, so did Razor, and then some other guys actually went on to win. So him winning Intercontinental title 2 times in 1996 to me is worth more, almost as much, if not more, than Cody's world title win in 2024, where everyone's almost given a chance at that belt, and there's no mid tier.
Yeah, you're right. Devon says Raw is going to be the only one right now.
Yeah, but they said the catalog is going, so the catalog includes old SmackDown taping.
I don't see why that eventually wouldn't be everything else too.
TV deals, those deals are long term too.
Yeah, but that Netflix deal is $5 billion.
No, but you can't break it like how.
I know, but that next deal, they're probably gonna go.
Oh, you talking about when it expires?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah. There's no need to stay anywhere else. If I can go on
Speaking
Netflix,
of, I think Raw or SmackDown for the next 2 weeks is on Sci-Fi. You know what I used to hate as a kid? When I used to turn on Monday Night Raw and see that goddamn Westminster Dog Show. They used to piss me off. I wanted to see puppies, not poodles.
Dog, Jerry the King Lawler had everybody tripping with them puppies.
Y'all remember that? You go to turn on Raw and something else is on. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, Raw took a break this week.
For whatever, man. The Westminster Dog Show? Whatever. But NXT was live tonight. The chat was live. DNA popped in. He popped out. He got some stuff to do. And we all do, but we show up, like we say, 5 minutes after any WWE event. We are live. Real quick, the weeks on Attitude Era podcast look like this. Sunday, we drop interviews. This weekend, we dropped the interview with Sid Vicious. The man right here, Gamaj, he's all over the internet right now because that interview got a lot of debate talking about Sid, his career, why Vince McMahon hated him, and why he's not in the WWE Hall of Fame. So on Sunday, we drop interviews. Every week, you get an interview. Monday, we do recap after Raw. 5 minutes after Raw goes off the air, we are live. Tuesday, like you here, right? 5 minutes after NXT, we go live. Wednesday, we drop a brand new episode of Double Up. This week, you got a little early because Hulkamania was running around wild this weekend, so we dropped early. The Hulk Hogan Double Up is live right now. Thursday, we game with the gang. I mean, you can find any one of us, if not all of us, on 2K24 and other various games, gaming, and you want to be a part of that, hit us up. We'll tell you how. On Thursday, we chill, take a little break, because Friday, 5 minutes after SmackDown, we are live. And Saturday, if there's a PLE, we do predictions and we do the recap 5 minutes after the PLE goes off the air. And if there's anything that breaking news, anything we need to talk about, we might just go live at any point during the week. So subscribe to the YouTube, hit the notification button so you do not miss us or anything we drop, because we also cover current things. We cover Who Killed WCW. We watched it and recapped it week by week, episode by episode. We did WrestleMania XL, same thing. So you get pretty much live content every day of the week, or new content from Actuary Podcast. And like I said, DNA, he's here. I say 85% of the time. He taps in every time, but sometimes he stays long, sometimes he doesn't. But a good 85, 90% of the time he's here. But he's got a lot going on, as we all do. But we like to commit to the people because y'all like. So we talk, we hit y'all up in the comments. That's why we big on the comments. We big on the chat. We try to get to all the comments. We try to get to all the people because y'all spending y'all time with us and we spending our time with y'all. And yeah, I said a lot just now. And I hope y'all got all that. You heard me? So.
And my last plug.
Oh, and Gilbert. We got the Gilbert interview dropping this Sunday. So Sunday to Saturday, it's a lot going on. And we got the next week double up. Every Sunday, we drop a calendar for the week to where you can see what's actually being dropped on those specific days. But it's something. So
make sure you turn your notifications on, right? So you get all the content. But also, I like to plug that Patreon one last time. Make sure we have specific exclusive content. You won't be seeing it on YouTube. So right now, one of the first shows we have going on there, episode 2 just dropped. Is They Got Us. The first episode was.
When did you realize Yokozuna wasn't Japanese? A sumo wrestler. When did you realize Kane and Undertaker wasn't brothers?
The second episode.
When did you realize that?
Second episode is Kane and Undertaker. So make sure to tap in and go ahead and subscribe to the tier so you can go ahead and be a part of the exclusive content. More modifications will be made to those tiers so we can get more access to.
Yeah, we tweaking it. We're tweaking it daily because there's a lot of content on there, and there's a lot of content that we put on there. It's a lot of access to early content and some older content, which is all exclusive. It's all exclusive, so you're only going to see it there with the different tiers. And the difference in the tiers is the timing. You might want it early, you might want it late, but if you want it, you can get it. You heard me? And the gaming thing is going to be really fun through the Patreon as well. That's coming though. But as of right now, Thursdays is game day, and we just be kicking it after our podcast. We just be kicking it. Anything else, fellas, before we get out of here?
Gamaj, you got anything?
Gamaj broke the internet, y'all, and he broke his computer. That's why he didn't see his face. But that Psycho Sid interview is spread across it's making its way around the globe. Wrestling Purists picked it up. No DQ picked it up. WrestleMania picked it up. We talking about at least 4,000 subscribers on those channels individually, collectively picked up the interview that Gamaj did with Psycho Sid. So shout out to Psycho Sid for spilling that tea, because I ain't even know. And shout out to Gamaj for getting the tea. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was a big deal. So Gamaj is he viral right now, and he said we had to pay him for appearance tonight. So that's why he didn't see his face. HP, you got anything?
Nah, we just did it, and I'm waiting on Gamaj.
And I wanted to respond to Vinny real quick. He asked top three wrestlers that sell moves. So just to answer that real quick off the top of my head, The Rock, Shawn Michaels, and Brock Lesnar. I actually think Lesnar's selling compared to the rest of his ability that he's displayed is very underrated.
You know who I like when they sell? Devon Dudley. When he did that little shake thing, I thought that was cool. Because it looked like he actually hurt. Like when he hurt. But, that's another thing. Yeah, we try to get to all the comments. Shout out to y'all for tuning in and commenting and keeping HP busy. I don't know how he able to check Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and eat a bag of sunflower seeds and not choke on the seed. That's talent. The most interesting man in the world is HP, and like I said, he does the Marvel content. So you want you into the Marvel? Check out. That's what I'm saying, Vinny. Vinny, that's my dog, man.
Yeah, Vinny just agreed with you too. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, HP. Anything before we get up out of here?
Nah, Lulu, we see you 98 Gold Dust. We ain't gonna talk about Ziggler and Billy Gunn tonight, but that's a wrap, man. That's a wrap. Thank y'all for
Yeah, we
tapping
we
in.
we weren't supposed to go this long, but we enjoy the conversations with y'all for real. Y'all keep us on our toes and keep us entertained, and we hope we keep y'all entertained because this is Attitude Era Podcast. That's what we do. That is Gamaj. That is King HP. I am the Archie Carter, and we will see y'all. What's tomorrow? Double Up. It's already out. Check it out. Thursday we gaming. Hit us up to find out about that. You can hit me up at the Archie Carter on all social media. And if not, that means Friday we'll see y'all because we live 5 minutes after SmackDown, unless something crazy happens. But you won't know unless you subscribe to YouTube and hit the notification button. Then you'll know that something crazy happened. But
Good night.
I'm done talking. I ain't got no more words. I think I went over my data limit of words.
Yeah. Good night. Till next time.